On average, Formula E welcomes about 2 new drivers to its grid every season. Some drivers find their footing and become mainstays in the series, while others vanish after just a year or so, and we forget they even existed. With next season being the last of the Gen 3, this may be the perfect time for some teams to reevaluate their driver lineup and see if they want to make any radical changes. Some veterans have already been linked to retirement from Formula E, and with the success of Taylor Barnard, teams may be a bit more confident to try out new rookies and get them a season of experience before the Gen 4 car is introduced. According to recent rumors, 2 main names have surfaced and in my opinion are the most likely to join the grid next year. Those names are back-to-back F2 champions Théo Pourchaire and Felipe Drugovich. Let's start with Pourchaire. The 2023 F2 champion has enjoyed a bit of everything over the last few years since his F1 dreams flickered away. He's raced in IndyCar, Super Formula, and this year races in ELMS alongside reserve driver duties for the Peugeot WEC program. This forms the link to his Formula E connections, as through Stellantis, Pourchaire has done simulator work for the Maserati MSG team and has competed in a handful of tests so far. But even beyond this, Pourchaire was involved in the initial testing for the Gen 3 car way back in 2022 with Spark, even becoming one of the first to crash it in Caliphate. The only thing that may hold the 21-year-old back is that Stellantis' 4 Formula E seats are fairly stacked at the moment. Jean-Eric Vergne and Maximilian Gunther occupy the 2 DS slots, with Stoffel Van Dorn and newcomer Jake Hughes at the Maserati team. I don't see any of them leaving anytime soon, and if Pourchaire wants to remain involved with Peugeot's WEC program, I can't really see him going anywhere else. But I wouldn't really be surprised if another manufacturer snaps him up. He has connections with McLaren through his IndyCar exploits, and even if McLaren isn't on the FE grid next year, he still may be able to find himself a seat at the Ian James-led team alongside Taylor Barnard if Sam Bird decides to hang it up. Even more so if Stellantis ends up buying that team. Opportunities may also be available at Envision if Friends or Buemi or both decide to leave FE. Both serve as proof that a dual Formula E WEC program with differing manufacturers isn't necessarily a huge deal for them. In my opinion, Pourchaire has plenty of options if he decides to make the switch to Formula E, and has to be at the top of most teams' lists. Then, we have Felipe Drugovich. If you ask around, most Formula E fans have a mixed opinion on Felipe Drugovich. That's because the young Brazilian has actually been offered a Formula E contract in the past. Actually, he may have been offered 2, but rejected both in favor of an aimless pursuit of a Formula 1 seat as an Aston Martin reserve. The 2022 champion has plenty of Formula E experience, serving as a test driver for Maserati MSG in 2023 and topping both of the rookie tests that season. Although not confirmed, it's highly rumored that he was offered a seat at the Maserati team for season 10 alongside Maximilian Gunther, which was eventually handed to Jehan Daruvala. But that wasn't the only season 10 seat he was offered, as Andretti Global was incredibly keen on signing him to replace Andre Lauderer alongside the literal defending champion Jake Dennis. But of course, Drugovich declined, instead setting his sights on the Alfa Romeo F1 seat, which was rumored to be vacated by Zhou Guanyu, a vacation that never happened. So Drugovich gave up 2 highly sought-after Formula E seats to chase an F1 seat that he's very clearly not going to get. Fernando Alonso is probably going to keep racing into his 50s, and Lance Stroll is Lance Stroll. So that's where we are now. Drugovich seems to have come to his senses and is finally beginning to consider other options. He tested for Maserati in 2024 as well, and is most likely going to make his Formula E debut later this season, replacing Nick de Vries in Berlin, having done some testing for Mahindra behind the scenes. But will he join Formula E next season? I think that choice is entirely Drugovich's. There are likely to be openings. There may even be one at Mahindra if Eduardo Mortara hangs it up. Despite his stubbornness, I'd say he's still considered one of the top prospects by most Formula E teams. But then again, he may become fixated on the opening at the Cadillac F1 team and ignore all possible proposals until those seats are filled. Time will tell. So those are the 2 biggest prospects I'd say are on the Formula E driver market right now. There are others, of course, including but not limited to Zach O'Sullivan, Jack Crawford, Paul Aron, and maybe even Daniel Kvyat. But I think if anyone's going to get a seat next year, it's going to be either Pourchaire or Drugovich, maybe even both. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and please leave your boldest driver transfer predictions for 2026 as well. I'm really interested to see what you guys all think.